Hey guys, basically I'm going to give you a bit of a story time, and it's about Citalopram. I was on Citalopram. I don't know if that's the right way to pronounce it, by the way. That's just how I've been pronouncing it. I've heard other people on the internet pronounce it in different ways. I don't really know the correct pronunciation, but I'm going to be talking about the drug Citalopram and my relationship with it. Until quite recently, I've been on the antidepressant Citalopram. I was on 20 milligrams, and that's pretty much what I had been taking for every day for about 5 years. So, recently I weaned myself off of the drug, and I'm going to tell you the withdrawal symptoms that I have been experiencing. So I'm going to get straight into it. Before I talk about my relationship with it, my story, I'm just going to tell you my withdrawal symptoms, okay? So one of the things that I've been experiencing has been irritability. So I've been very irritable, and I've had a very short fuse as well. I've also noticed that. So it hasn't taken me much to become angry. It hasn't taken too much for me to get annoyed and frustrated and irritated. Where before, when I was on the drug, I was okay. Obviously I still got irritated and frustrated, but not as strongly as I have been with these withdrawal symptoms. Okay, so another thing is that I've sometimes been quite teary, quite emotional. I've been having more of a negative sort of outlook in a way. So those are the withdrawal symptoms that I have been experiencing. So now I want to talk to you about why I felt like I could come off Citalopram. Okay, so when I first started taking it, I had zero coping mechanisms when it came to dealing with difficult situations and things that weren't good that happened in my life. So it could be so to give you like an example, I remember once that it was my sister-in-law's birthday, and we were going to go out and have a drink at a pub. Now, for whatever reason, I didn't bring my ID. And basically, because I didn't bring my ID, even though I was 25, we weren't allowed to go and drink or have anything to drink in the pub, even though we were just ordering Coca-Colas. That made me feel really bad. And I was saying horrible things about myself, and things that I should do to harm myself in some way, and all that kind of horrible things I was saying to myself. Sometimes I would actually say them out loud as well. Like, I don't even know where it came from. It just came out like, I should, I don't want to say it directly, because hopefully people who are dealing with depression or on Citalopram probably know of the kind of things that I'm talking about, but I don't want to just blurt them out in case someone younger finds this, and stuff like that. I'm just trying to be a bit sensitive. So I was saying these horrible things about myself, and it's ridiculous, really. I mean, sure, yeah, you now I would probably feel bad if something like that happened. I'd feel bummed out, but I would have coped with it much better, but I couldn't cope with it. I couldn't cope with that emotion. And there was a series of things that happened like that in my teenage years. Obviously not the same situation, but stuff, similar to those things where something was my fault and we couldn't do something, and I would just blame myself and feel like I'm a burden and all this kind of stuff. And also when it came to my relationships as well, I got cheated on in a past relationship a long time ago, and it was these situations that I just couldn't cope with. I just felt terrible, and I knew that I needed some help. So of course I went to my GP, and I was prescribed antidepressants. And the antidepressant drug was, of course, Citalopram. When I started taking them, I definitely needed them. I definitely needed something to help boost my mood. And it was during that time, during those 5 years, that I really started to study self-development, self-help, and a therapy which I believed has helped me tremendously through getting better and not being depressed anymore. And that was NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. That was the best way that personally helped me, the best therapy for me. Now, I'm not a medical professional, okay? So I'm not going to say that you should be doing one thing and not doing something else. This is something that just helped me, okay? I'm not a medical professional, so just because it worked for me doesn't mean that it's going to work for you, because I believe that all therapies have their place. All therapies work to a degree. All therapies work in some form of way, but the therapy that helped me was NLP, okay? So Flash forward 5 years, and it's been a while since, it's been, I would say about a year ago, I decided that I probably didn't need antidepressants anymore. Like, that's when it sort of dawned on me that, do I really need these? I'm taking them every day, but do I actually need them now? And it was only until like a few months ago when I decided that I was going to start that process of weaning myself off the medication. And what I should have done really is I should have told my GP about it, and they made a plan for me. But I didn't do that, please do an actual plan with your GP. But anyway, basically what I did was I was like, okay, right, starting from Monday, I'm going to have 10 milligrams and 20 milligrams the next day, 10 milligrams, then 20 milligrams. It was kind of like that. It was like Monday, 20 milligrams, Tuesday, 10 milligrams, Wednesday, 20 milligrams, Tuesday, Thursday, 10 milligrams, etc., etc. And that's what I did for a week. Then the week after that, I went 10 milligrams, 5 milligrams, 10, 5, 10, 5. And then after that, I had a whole week where I was on just 5 milligrams, just pure 5 milligrams to see how well I coped. And during that time, I didn't notice any negative differences, but I did actually notice positive differences. I actually felt much better. I felt less, I felt more in tune with stuff. I felt more passionate. I felt more inspired. There was a lot of positive things that were coming with weaning myself onto lower and lower doses. And I really liked the results. Everything was going fine in those weeks where I was weaning myself off. Not lowering the drug. Lowering the drug didn't cause any negative side effects that I found. It was only until I started actually not having any in my system that I started to notice those withdrawal symptoms that I spoke about at the beginning of this video. So at this point, the withdrawal symptoms have lessened. Like, it's not as bad as it was when my body was had gone completely cold turkey from the drug. So now I feel much better. I feel like I did while I was on the drug. So now I know that I probably don't need the drug anymore. I'm not going to say anything, I'm not going to say any definite things because you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring or the next day. But I know right now that I don't need the drug. I feel like I did while I was on the drug and while I was weaning myself off the drug as well. I felt no difference today than I was when I was on the drug, basically. But what helped me was being aware that the withdrawal symptoms were exactly that. They were just my body reacting to not having the drug. It was nothing to do with me or my personality. It was just, or my soul. It was just the drug. It was just my body's reaction to not having the drug in my system anymore. And being aware of that made it much more easier to get through some of those emotions. Because sometimes when you're experiencing these withdrawal symptoms, you kind of just have to take it moment by moment. And being aware that, hey, this is just a signal from my body to let me know that something's up. It's just a signal. It's nothing to do with me. I don't need to take the drug. When I started having withdrawal symptoms, it made me think maybe I do need these antidepressants. Maybe I do need to go back on the drug. And I would think about taking the drug again, But I'm glad I didn't, because now I know that they are literally just my body's reaction to not having the drug. And I'm not going to say that I'm not going to have any more withdrawal symptoms, because I don't, like I said, I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. I don't even know what the next hour is going to bring. Maybe I'll feel really bad in an hour or so, But right now I'm okay. And I feel like this is where it's eventually going to lead to, where I have no withdrawal symptoms and this is just my default. Now, if you're watching this video, then perhaps you're on Citalopram yourself and you're hoping to wean yourself off, or you're just trying to make more understanding of the symptoms that you have, or to find out if you're not alone in your symptoms or your withdrawal symptoms or whatever. You're not alone. I feel like this is a thing that most people experience when they don't take the drug anymore. But the only thing that I would recommend is to make sure that you get a proper plan with your GP. if you're trying to wean yourself off. Don't go cold turkey on them, because I remember once when I did do that during that 5 years where I was on them, there would be like a time when I would forget to take them. It would be like a few days I wouldn't take them, and I would have really, really bad symptoms. So don't, like really bad withdrawal symptoms, like heavily dizzy, really feeling really, really, really down. Please make sure that you wean yourself off slowly, but you need to discuss this with your GP. So that's my experience with the drug. This is what I am at the moment. I'm okay. I probably will still have some symptoms as the weeks progress, but I'm hopeful that they will eventually go away. And it's thanks to neuro-linguistic programming that has really helped me, and my own sort of learning of self-help, personal development, which is why I'm now a life coach as well. Like, I help other people learn these techniques, and I coach people on how to be reliant on themselves and not reliant on other things like other people and other things that you can have as like crutches that can help you get through life. But being reliant on yourself is the most important thing, and that's why I teach people. I teach people to be reliant on themselves, to learn things, to grow as a person, to understand your mind, your emotions, and that you are in control. And that's what I coach people on. That's how much I was so dived into self-development and stuff, and NLP, and it's just transformed my life basically. But like I said, all therapies work to a degree, and definitely don't negate things that work for you just because I said so. So anyway, like I said, I'm not a medical professional, but this was my experience. Anyway guys, I hope that you found this video informative and helpful in some way. Please leave a like if it's helped you in some way, if you've enjoyed it, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye guys.